Hello friends, and welcome to my yoga channel. Good on you for turning up today and for choosing to do a yoga practice. We're going to start today's practice by coming into a comfortable seat. Bring yourself into a space and into a position that feels good for your body today. And then place your hands in a comfortable position. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in through your nostrils. And a long exhale out of your mouth. Feel your body drop into the space where you are right now. We're going to take 2 more cleansing breaths like that. Breathing in, breathing out of the mouth. If you're ready to do so, close your eyes and close your mouth and let the breath now flow in and out through your nostrils. Let's take a moment to fill the space around the tops of your shoulders and the sides of your neck. Relax as you exhale. As you exhale, feel the spaces and the muscles around your face, your eyes, your nose, your cheekbones, and your lips soften. And as you sit here and breathe just for a few more moments, I'd like you to scan your body all the way from the tips of your toes to the top of your head, and just notice if there are any parts of your body that are holding any physical tension. And if you notice a space, like for me it's my left hip today, where I'm feeling just a little bit of tightness as I sit here, what I'd like you to do is focus on that space, and on the exhale, see if you can get it to relax just a little bit. One more breath here. Keeping yourself centered and focused for a moment longer. Now I'd just like you to tune into how your mind is doing. So notice what your energy is at the moment, whether you're feeling distracted or centered, whether you feel like your mind is elsewhere, or whether you're able to bring your focus to your breath. And without judging yourself, just witness what's happening for you today and serve as a sort of observer of your body. Just become aware of the tendencies and the, I guess you could call it prejudices in a way, that your body is dealing with today. And as you go through the yoga class, I just want you to notice if those come up and impact the way that you do your yoga. Take 2 more breaths here and then we're going to start the class. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, bring your hands out to the sides, and walk your fingers as far away from you as you can. On a breath in, sweep your arms up and let your inhale end when your hands touch. And as you exhale, simply float your hands down onto your mat. 2 more breaths like that. As you flow, can you keep your shoulders and your neck soft? Nice and slow. Sweep your hands out in front of you now, breathing in. You can feel that stretch in the backs of your shoulders. And as you breathe out, sweep your hands down. Once again, just notice that space around the neck and the shoulders, and make sure that it's nice and soft as you breathe in. And feel it relax as you breathe out. Starting to integrate the breath and the movement together now. Breathe it in. And this time as you exhale, I'd like you to take your right hand onto your left knee, your left hand behind you. See if you can plant it down into the floor behind you, and then twist to your left. Draw your chin into your neck and lengthen the back of your spine around the top of the neck. Take 2 deep breaths here. You can twist a little deeper on your exhale. And then holding your body in this position and keeping your chin drawn into your neck, inhale to turn your head forward. And exhale to turn your head back. Just keep those shoulders relaxed. One more breath like that. Then inhale to turn forward. And from here, drop your right shoulder down to your right knee. We're looking for a stretch in the left side of our lower back. Bring yourself to a nice relaxed position here. You can look down if it's all right for your neck, or if you'd like to challenge yourself and it doesn't hurt, have a go at looking up. But remember to draw your chin into your neck so that your head doesn't flop. Take 2 breaths. Good, then bring yourself back to center on the breath in, sweep your arms up. And we're just changing to the other side. So left hand onto the right knee, right hand behind you. Just bring it flat onto the floor. That's it. And draw that chin into the neck to lengthen the top of the neck, to lengthen the top of the spine. Take 2 breaths. On the next inhale, turn your head forward. And exhale to turn your head back. One more like that. Then inhale to look forward, and from here drop that left shoulder down to the left knee. Find the stretch in the right side of your lower back. And breathe. Good, then bring yourself back to center, sweep both arms up. And from here, we're just going to do a lateral stretch. So bring your left hand onto the mat beside you, reach those right fingertips up, and then reach them over towards the left side of your mat. Have a go at drawing your chin in towards your neck. So you're kind of giving yourself a double chin, and from this position, look towards that right bicep. Try to find the stretch all the way from your fingertips down to that right hip. And as you exhale, if it feels all right, you can reach a little further. Press into your left hand, sweep both arms up, and just change sides. 2 breaths. Then press into that bottom hand, sweep both arms up, and from here bring your hands beside you and float them down. Last stretch here in this seated position. We're going to take our hands, interlace them behind our back, and reach our arms down as we open our chest up. And from here, draw your chin down, find the stretch in the chest, and take 3 deep breaths. Squeeze those shoulders together. And try to press the padding of the outer edge of your hand, so this area here, into the padding of the other hand, the opposite hand. So you're pressing those parts together. That's going to open your chest up a little more and give you a deeper stretch across the front of your chest. And when you're ready, just release your hands, shake your arms and your shoulders out, and bring yourself onto all fours into a tabletop position. Press your feet down into the ground and just start by bringing your hands underneath your shoulders, your knees underneath your hips. Press into the floor to lift the space between your shoulders up towards the ceiling. And when you're ready, tuck your toes under and just curl yourself into a cow position, dropping the belly down gently for the first one, opening the chest up. You can again press into the outer edge of your hands, and that'll again open your chest up a little more. And as you exhale, press your feet flat onto the floor, round your back up to the ceiling, and press into your hands as though you're trying to touch the ceiling with your hands. Keep rolling in and out like this. Let's do 2 more. Feels really nice for me between the shoulders. And just notice what you feel here. Let's do 1 more, just because it feels so good. Hopefully for you too. Good, and come back to a neutral position. From here, stretch your right leg out and just move your heel forwards and backwards. Activate the muscle of your right thigh, this guy here. And when you do that, what happens is your leg straightens, and we can bring the stretch more into the calf muscle. So just stretching into that muscle, making sure that there aren't any kinks or any cramps building up. And then come to a neutral resting pose and come up onto your left fingertips. Before we come into a balancing pose with our left arm and our right leg, I'd like you to press a little bit more firmly into your right hand, your left knee and your left foot. And what this does is it stabilizes you before you move. The other thing I want you to do is, instead of just collapsing down, press your back up to the ceiling, activate your core, have a go at lifting that right leg up and extending your left arm out. Your balance really does come from pressing down into these 3 sort of parts. Take a big breath in. And as you exhale, draw your left elbow and your right knee together, round your back to the ceiling. Get all of the air out of your lungs. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it together. Inhale, extend. Exhale, bring it together. 3 more. As you extend your right leg, see if you can activate that right thigh to straighten the leg. And do your last one here, breathing in. And exhale, bring it together. Good, then bring everything down onto the mat and just change sides. So extend the left leg out, stretch into the calf. Keep that left thigh active now. And come up onto your right fingertips. Nice. Just notice how this left side feels for me. It's definitely tighter. I played a little bit of football yesterday, so I'm feeling it even more. Have a go at lifting that left leg up off the floor and pressing the heel back behind you. Remember to lift your back up to the ceiling. Then extend your right arm out, breathe it in. Exhale, bring it together. Get all of the air out. 4 more. Slowing down. And I think we've got 1 more. I always lose count. Let's do 1 more. Breathing in and breathing out. Good, and then bring yourself back into that neutral position. From here, bring your knees and your feet together and just lift your knees gently off the floor. Stretching into the tops of your feet. I really need this more in my life. Well, I think we all do, but maybe it's just me. And then bring your knees back down, rock yourself forward, tuck your toes under, and then press gently into your hands until you find a nice juicy stretch in the arches of your feet, the space here. Now, some of you might not feel it if your ankles are apart, so bring those ankles together, bring the big toe knuckles together, and just find your limit. Find your limit for today, and let's see if you can breathe through this tension, this intensity. Try to close your eyes or soften your gaze and take 3 deep breaths in and out here. And if it gets too much, just make it a little easier for yourself by bringing your hands further forward and taking off that weight. Try to find your breath, find its flow, and find some peace. Very good. When you're ready, you can bring yourself forward a little bit, flatten your feet out, just give them a bit of a tap. Clear your throat. And when you're ready, come into a plank pose really slowly. Just take your time. We're going to hold there for 10 breaths, not because anyone likes to, but because it's so good for your core and we all need it. If you start to struggle at any point, you can drop one knee to the floor, but I really want you to try and squeeze your abs as you breathe here. Let's go. 10, 9, keep pressing into your hands. 8, can you activate your thigh muscles? 7, 6, can you press into the edges of your hands again to open up your chest? 5, 4, can you draw your chin in towards your neck to lengthen your spine? 3, 2, last one, breathe it in and breathe it out. Drop your knees to the floor and really slowly, while your arms are burning, bring your shoulders forward over and beyond the tops of your wrists and lower yourself down onto your chest. Good. Press your feet into the ground. Inhale, lift yourself up, and as you do so, relax your shoulders. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Exhale, lower yourself down. Let's do that 2 more times. Keep your shoulders soft. Breathing in, lifting up. Breathing out, lowering down. 1 more. And out. Good. Draw the toes under. Inhale up into a plank. Exhale to a down dog. Nice. Just bend your knees left to right and stretch into your hamstrings. Notice how they're feeling today. Notice if they're tight. And to open them up a little bit, let's inhale, lift our heels and our hips off the floor and up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, ground your heels down. Nice. Let's do that 3 more times. Breathing in, lifting up. Exhale, ground down. One more. Do that 3 more times with your breath. Inhaling to lift up and exhaling to ground down. Next, inhale to lift up. And then lift your left leg up and press your heel back behind you, drawing a straight left leg. And as you exhale, step the foot forward to the top of your mat. From here, drop your back knee to the floor. Send your hips backwards a little bit. And as you exhale, send your hips forward and sink them down to find the stretch in your right hip bone, your right thigh. Do that 3 more times. So breathing in, sending your hips back. And breathing out, sinking your hips down. Good. Next, tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee up off the floor, and just feel the weight of that front leg press down into the front foot. From here, see if you can shift the weight back into your heel and then forwards into your toes. And then from here, we're going to drop the back knee down just a little bit, not quite touching the floor, but just so that there's a nice bend in it. I want you to lift your hands off the ground and come up into a high crescent lunge. Just hold here for 3 breaths. Feel that front foot pressing down into the floor. Feel the strength you need to engage and hold that back leg in place. And take 1 more full breath in. And a long exhale out. Good, then sweep your hands down onto the floor, come back into your plank. Take a breath in before exhaling to lower down. Inhale for your cobra. Exhale to lower down. Draw your toes under, inhale to plank, and exhale to down dog. This time as you inhale, I want you to roll your spine forward like a wave, coming into a plank pose. As you exhale, press into your hands, come back to downward facing dog. And just keep rolling like that for 3 breaths. Inhaling to come forward. And exhaling to come back. Good. Next, inhale, lift your right leg up, press the heel back behind you. Exhale to step the foot forward to the front of the mat, drop the back knee to the ground. And as you breathe in, send your hips back. And as you breathe out, send your hips forward and sink them down. Do that 3 more times. Just finding that stretch in that hip bone area and in the left thigh. Good, and then tuck those back toes under, lift the back knee up off the floor, and engage the muscles of that left leg to hold you in this position and to find a little bit of strength here. Press that back heel into the floor, press your right heel into the floor, press your right toes and the padding of your toes into the floor. Feel the weight and the pressure bear down on that right foot. And then from here, draw a little bend into that back knee. Lift your hands off the floor and sweep up into your high crescent lunge. As you exhale, bend that back knee a little bit and sink your hips down. Hold here for 3 breaths. Find your strength. One more. Nice. Then float your hands back down onto the floor, come back into your plank. Exhale to lower down. Inhale into your cobra, lift up a little higher. Exhale to roll your spine down. Inhale into a plank. Exhale to your downward facing dog. And from here, bend your knees left to right. And then slowly walk your feet forward to the top of the mat to come into a forward fold. And just take a hold of your elbows and allow your body to hang here, feeling your arms sway from side to side. Do a couple of yeses and nos with your head. And then gently drop your hands to the floor. And from here, after your exhale, you just slowly feel the weight shift forward into your toes. And then feel it shift back into your heels and find a balance between the pressure of your feet down into your toes and your heels. See if you can even it out. Let your head hang here. And then take a hold of your big toes with your second and third finger. And from here, inhale up into a halfway lift. Straightening your legs, stretching your back as you do so. And then exhale, bend your knees and draw yourself back down into a forward fold. Do that 2 more times. Inhaling to lift up. And exhale to lower down to stretch. 1 more. Nice. And from here, release your toes. Just take your hands onto the backs of your calves. So onto the backs of your legs. And hold yourself here. And see if you can draw your torso towards your thighs. And as you do that, see if you can press evenly into both feet and lift your sitting bones higher by gently straightening your legs. Hold here for 3 breaths. Breathe deep into your belly and deep into your lower back. And let your spine elongate here. And then gently release your hands down. And from here, we're going to evenly press into both feet and slowly roll our spines up, vertebrae by vertebrae, into a standing position. Be sure to activate your core as you do this to protect your lower back. Pressing into both feet. Once you're up, roll your shoulders back and sweep your hands to the ceiling. And take a big breath in. And exhale your hands down through to your heart center. And from here, what I'd like you to do is just start to circle your hips around your ankles. Soften your gaze, so kind of blur it out, and allow your attention and your awareness and your mind to focus on your feet. Notice the pressure as it moves from your heels through to your toes and the padding of your feet. And notice how the weight shifts from the right side to the left side and back again. And then change the direction of that rotation. Notice if it feels easier or harder to do the rotation in the opposite direction. And when you're ready, come to a still spot. And from here, bring your feet together. Spread your toes out and grip them down into the floor. From here, I'd like you to come up onto the tips of your right toes. And before we lift our right leg up and come into Trikonasana, I just want you to focus on that left foot and focus on pressing it down, imagining that it's a really heavy trunk of a tree, that it's grounding and rooting down into the floor. Before you move, notice that the weight should be dispersed evenly between the toes and the heel, and between the left and the right side of your left foot. And then when you're ready, you can gently lift those right toes up off the floor and have a go at bringing that right foot into the left thigh. Now it really helps if you focus on a spot on the floor in front of you that isn't moving, so a dot or a mark or something. Keep your eyes there and keep your attention and your awareness guided down and focused on that standing leg and that standing foot in particular. Have a go at pressing the left thigh and the right foot into one another. This will stabilize you even further. Bring your hands through to your heart center. Allow your gaze to soften and blur as you focus on that spot. And take 3 deep breaths in and out. Keep your breathing nice and slow. Focus on the foot. Focus on your breath. Good. When you're ready, you can gently take a hold of that right foot and slowly release it down. And it really kind of helps to shake that left leg out. And then bring yourself back to center. And once again, bring your hands through to your heart center. Bring more weight into that right foot. Lift up onto the tiptoes of that left foot. Cool. Before you lift up, notice how the weight is dispersed in the left and the right side of that right foot. And then the toes and then the heel of that right foot. Something that can really help you strengthen your standing poses is to activate the thigh muscle of the leg that you're standing on. So in this case, it's our right leg. So activate that right thigh, and what you'll notice is that the muscles around the knee and that hip kind of lock off a little bit, and the stabilizer muscles fire into that left ankle. And it's your ankle stabilizers that now end up doing a lot of the work, and you strengthen them as a result. Have a go at lifting that left foot up off the floor, and then you can bring that left foot into your right thigh, pressing the two into one another. Bring your hands through to your heart center. Find that spot on the floor and take 3 deep breaths here. When you're ready, you can gently release and bring your left foot down onto the ground. Nice. From here, let's bring ourselves onto our butts into a seated position. Bring your feet together and draw your ankles in towards your hips. This is the last kind of final set of poses we're going to do here today. I just want you to focus on stretching the inside of the groin because it's quite tight, and it's quite good to open it up. Take hold of your feet and kind of cup them like so, and then take a big breath in and lift your belly and your chest up. And as you exhale, just tilt your torso forward as far as is comfortable and as far as you need to feel the stretch on the insides of your legs. Hold here. Take 2 deep breaths in and out. When you're ready, you can release your feet, cross your ankles over, come all the way down onto your back with your knees bent and your feet flat on the floor. From here, take your fingertips and bring them to your heels. Press your hands down into the floor and just take a moment to press your feet, your hands, your elbows, your forearms into the mat and find a little bit of strength, a little bit of core strength as you press down with a bit more force than usual. And from this position, from this firm base, take a deep breath in, and as you do so, lift your hips off the floor and roll yourself into a bridge position. Bring the weight into your shoulders a little more and keep pressing down into that base. Take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Press into your base and lift your hips up higher. Let's do that 2 more times. So breathing into the belly and the chest. Breathing out, press your hips up higher. Your knees are going to want to open up, so draw them in towards one another. Last one here, breathing in and breathing out. Good, then interlace your fingers underneath you and lift yourself up onto the tops of your shoulders. Take a deep breath into your belly and into your chest. And a deep breath out. Lift your hips up higher. And then release your arms and slowly roll your spine down onto the ground. Draw your knees into your chest and circle them a few times to massage your back. And to close this class, we are just going to come into some twists. So from here, make yourself as comfortable as you need to on your back, and then bring your knees and your legs to a 90-degree angle. You can take your arms out wide, either into cactus position or extend your arms out, and then drop your knees over to your left side and look over towards your right arm. Try to keep your right shoulder on the floor and just take 3 deep breaths here. Try to make them a little bit more full and expansive. Relax into the pose. Then bring your knees back to center. And from here, just change over to the other side. Looking towards the left arm. Breathing in deeply. Nice. When you're ready, just come back to that neutral position. And from here, extend your legs out onto the floor. And we're just going to close with a short Shavasana. So make sure that your lower back is nice and flat on the floor, and if it's not, it helps to bend the knees and have the feet flat on the ground. Then take one hand onto your belly and your chest, or you can have your hands beside you, or you can place them wherever you'd like. Take a moment to center and to find your breath. And just notice how your mind is doing now compared to where it was at the start of the class. Do you recall your mind had any expectations or any prejudices, or that it was taking you somewhere that you didn't need to go? And there are certainly times and places where tuning into what you're going through and what you're witnessing in your body and in your emotional and mental space is very important. Yet I find that when I'm on the yoga mat and when I'm tuning into how my body's feeling and the flow of my breath, those thoughts tend to kind of float away. And when that happens, I kind of notice and realize that the things that go on in my mind are really just mental constructs. And that their urgency is fleeting. And that at the end of the day, what's important for me is my connection to myself. That's my safe space and my happy place. Maybe you feel the same and maybe you don't. Both is perfectly fine. If you'd like, you can stay here for a little longer, or you can join me by taking a deep breath in through your nostrils. Feel your belly and your chest rise up more than they have before today, and as you exhale, sigh out of your mouth and relax, release, let go. Let's do that 2 more times. You can keep going if you'd like, or if you want to, you can wriggle your fingers and your toes. And just wake your body up and take a big stretch. Oh, feels good. And roll yourself over onto your left side. Notice whether your mind is taken to your body and how it's doing, or to how your mind itself is doing. Just take a moment to accept that, to be with that, and to sink into this position here. I could stay here for a while, to be honest, but we're not going to. Well, I'm not going to. I'm going to get up and close this practice just with a deep breath in and out. If you'd like, you can join me at the top of your mat, or stay there. If you are at the top of your mat, bring your hands together and just take a deep breath into your belly and into your chest, just to breathe in some gratitude for your body and for your mind. Breathe in some love and some kindness towards yourself. And then take a deep breath out. Thank you for joining me today. It's a pleasure to have you join my classes and join me in this practice. I wish you a wonderful day or a wonderful evening, wherever you are in the world. See you next time. Namaste.